I thought about coming up with something and talk about cell referencing. Realize we have three types of cell referencing. We have got the relative, the absolute, and mixed referencing. But then we're going to use the data in this table for the sales of these products over the week from Monday to Sunday. We want to get the total here for the sales of this product all the way from Monday to Sunday. We need a formula here. But then something we need to understand is referencing is what tells that Excel formula what to do when that formula is copied from one cell to another cell. For example, we want to put a formula here and use this formula to auto-populate all the values that we used on this cell to this cell, this cell, and this cell. An example is we want to get the total of these cells from Monday to Sunday. So we are going to use a formula here which is equals to sum of this value from this B3 all the way to H3. To get a shortcut to get this value here, we use Alt Enter. Alt Enter will give you the sum of B3 to H3. And then we auto-populate all the values down here. If you want to check if the correct formula is used, try to click on one of the cells here. And then in the formula bar up here, you'll be able to see that B3 to H6 has been summed up. And we get this answer. So whatever we have used here is what is known as relative referencing. So you are asked, we want to get the total percentage for the weekly sales. What do? We need to get the total percentage of this by getting this value all over the total of all the sales times 100%. So what do? We need to get an equal sign here, then this value here, all over the total here, which we don't know. So we need to get this total here first. So for us to do that, we are going to do this is equals to sum. Remember, Alt Enter will give you the answer because I2 to I6 is what it should give us the sum for these values. So let's go back here now, say is equal to this value here all over this total here, which is I7 multiplied by 100%. Good, we have 42.91%. I want it to be a decimal. So this value, we have 43% for this. But then we want to get the percentage all the way down here by doing a relative cell referencing. See what happens. If we do relative cell referencing here, you will realize that you have a function divide parameter 2 cannot be 0. So this error tells us that if you click on it and check the formula bar here, I4 over I8 seems 100%. So if you look at I8, it's going down, it's shifting down. It's shifting the values down. So what do we need to do? We need to go back to our first formula and have what is known as absolute cell referencing by adding a $ like this. There is a shortcut for it. Once you click on it and press F4 on the keyboard, it will automatically give you the absolute cell referencing. Why have we done on the referencing on I and put again a $, on a $ on I and then another $ on 7? The reason why we have done that is because this value here is not changing. That's why we have referenced it absolutely. So that now when you come here and you press enter, you get 43, but then if you move down, the values will not be shifted down and right and left. So if you click on 30, if you click on 5, you realize that I and 7 still stays, but it's not moving down. So what we have done there is now absolute cell referencing. What if the owner of this shop tells you that he wants these products presented as a percentage? we want these values here presented as a percentage. How do you go about it? 400 presented as a percentage, 360 presented as a percentage. So here we have to use something else here. So for example, on this case, we will have this represented a percentage by getting 400, which is this one, this value here, B3, divided by the total, which is 3444, which is I3. Then to have a percentage of it, then we'll need to get times 100. Press enter. We have 11%. B3 all over I3, which is the total, times 100%. Yeah, you get it as a whole number. We have represented this as a percentage. What do we do next? Here, having it as percentage, then we need to see if we drag this formula all the way here, it's going to give us this value. Divide by 0, error, awesome. So this value cannot be divided by 0. If I click on this Friday here, remember we are supposed to have, if I click on this, supposed to be 740, which is F3, which is correct here, divided by M3, confirm. M is far to the right, which means the formula has shifted to the right. So it has done what is known as relative referencing. So times 100%, that is okay, but it's not supposed to shift to the right, but it's supposed to shift down because we'll still need to populate the other values going down. So what it means is that I, J, K, the columns are not shifting. So let's come back to our formula here and say that I should not shift because I is a column. So this column is not shifting to the right, neither is it shifting to any other position. But I going down will be using, like for example, engine oil have 642 all over 2437 times 100. So going down will be shifting. So the columns will be, we have to reference it with a $sign. Then that means we are locking that column. And then 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, the rows will be moving, so we don't lock the rows. Let's see this, if it works. Awesome, great, same answer. Now let's shift it to the right, all the way to Sunday. Great. Now, if you want to confirm if this is correct, let's have 12, 22, if you add all this, you'll get a value, 100%. So let's now move it down here. Let's see, if I click on 26, what is it going to tell me? 26 is this one, 642, which is B4, which is correct here, over I4, confirm, I4, correct, and 100%. So that is it. Good, there we go. So now you can let your values here. And once you confirm that is correct and the answers are on point, you can do the same here, do the same here. So the sales values have been represented as percentages. Great. So what have we done here? So another way you can have these 12 as a percentage. Sorry. So what you have done, if you click on 12, you can see we have referenced only the, we have locked only the column, but not the rows. So what it tells you here is that, we have only referenced one and one is not referenced, and this is what we call mixed referencing.